Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is he'd be unplayable with Kerkez. £75 million star now wants to sign for Liverpool. Liverpool have announced the signing of Florian Wirtz, issuing an emphatic statement to the Premier League in Europe that Arne Slot's side are at the top and they are there to stay. The German international was one of the most sought-after players in the world, with Manchester City, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid all keen, but he chose Merseyside as his destination, with Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes wrapping up the £116 million deal this weekend. The playmaker, who scored during an unforgettable career opening with Bayer Leverkusen, is aiming to win the full gamut of major honours at Anfield, and he certainly has the capacity to do so. However, all this fanfare around Wirtz has somewhat drowned out the exciting deal for Milos Kerkez, who is all but confirmed as a new member of Slot's squad. Why Liverpool signed Milos Kerkez? Liverpool lost Trent Alexander-Arnold at the end of the 2024-25 campaign, the vice-captain running down his contract to sign for Real Madrid on a free transfer. And now the Reds could be set to lose their other long-serving fullback in Andy Robertson, who, aged 31, has been on the decline and is entering the final year of his contract. La Liga's Atletico Madrid are currently hoping to bring him over to Spain. Luckily, Liverpool have already acted to bring in Kerkez, who hasn't officially signed but is on the verge of leaving Bournemouth for Anfield, with a £40 million fee agreed. Hailed as an elite player, who notably thrived when pitted against the likes of Mohamed Salah and Bukayo Saka last season, Kerkez is the perfect profile for the role of a modern fullback, balanced, steely in defense and a tireless runner. He will provide Slot's high-flying system with a new dimension down the left channel, potentially even proving the perfect partner for another Premier League star on FSG's radar. Liverpool line up new winger. According to transfer insider Graham Bailey, Liverpool are still keen on signing Newcastle United's Anthony Gordon, despite bagging Wirtz already this month. Valued at £75 million, the 24-year-old winger was of a vested interest to the Anfield side last summer, but Newcastle found a different way to navigate around their PSR problems. However, Liverpool are back in contention now and sporting director Richard Hughes is keeping a close eye on developments, joined by Premier League rivals Arsenal and Chelsea. That said, Bailey is convinced that the England international favours a move to Liverpool over the Londoners, as it is his dream destination. Bringing Gordon back over to Merseyside would likely be dependent on the future of Luis Diaz, who has been linked with Barcelona and suitors over in the Saudi Pro League. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our second news is Liverpool transfer news. £33 million winger meets idol Sadio Mane to hold key talks. One of the most underrated Liverpool players is probably Sadio Mane, and he's inspiring a new generation of African talent. Mane doesn't get the plaudits he deserves, but during his time at Anfield he was up there as one of the best players in the world. In his heyday no one could stop the Senegalese legend. Alongside Mohamed Salah, Mane will go down as one of the best African players to have ever played in the Premier League. He is in a pantheon alongside the likes of Yaya Touré and Didier Drogba. Since leaving Liverpool, Mane has continued to lead by example and he's now doing some brilliant work off the pitch as well. Mane has invested in football clubs and has been involved in a number of charitable contributions in his homeland Senegal. He's also becoming a key figure in guiding the next generation of African talent, including one of the most exciting young footballers in the Premier League at the moment. We've written about Yankuba Minte recently and why we think he's destined for Liverpool. The Gambian international was on the club's radar prior to his move to Brighton in the summer of 2024. Since then he's quietly becoming one of the best young players in the Premier League. Last season, he stepped up in some of Brighton's biggest matches, including scoring goals against Chelsea and Manchester United. Still very young, Minte has all the ingredients to become a world-class footballer. Someone who could suit the Reds very well. It helps that he already has a connection with Arne Slot, having played under him at Feyenoord. Now, Minte is also rubbing shoulders with a Liverpool legend in Sadio Mane. He met with the club icon earlier this week according to the Voice of Sports on Instagram. This wasn't just a casual meet-up. It was a meaningful exchange about football, leadership, and the future of African talent. The caption read alongside an image of Mane and Minte. This was a special meeting for Minte because he has previously described Sadio Mane as his favorite player and his inspiration. He's still only just 20 years old, but already it seems like he has the potential to go very far in the game. No player has the same linear career path, but at the same age, Mane was only playing for Red Bull Salzburg. The fact that Minte is already playing in the Premier League and putting in strong performances suggests that he has the potential to even surpass the achievements of his Liverpool idol. With the youngster having that connection with Slot, Liverpool having previously been interested in his services and Minte seeing Mane as an inspiration, a move to Anfield just feels like it's written in the stars at some point in the future. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our last news is Liverpool's nightmare summer. Arsenal hijack Isak transfer as £35 million deal collapses. Liverpool's summer business has so far gone swimmingly. Jeremy Frimpong was quick through the Anfield door as an ideal replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he has been followed by Florian Wirtz and Milos Kerkez. The Reds, under Fenway Sports Group, have rarely splashed the cash in such a manner, particularly so early in the window. But the transfer market is a cruel mistress, and many will be aware that happy smiles can turn to doom and gloom in little time. Newcastle striker Alexander Isak has been branded a dream signing for Liverpool, with the Reds reportedly ready to break their club record once again for the Sweden international. However, Newcastle would be negotiating from a position of strength with several years left on Isak's contract and the allure of Champions League football. They have previously demanded figures in the £150 million range. If Isak were to leave, he would not be short of suitors. Arsenal particularly have a vested interest, and should the 25-year-old be available, the Gunners would be ready to pounce. Hijacking any Liverpool deal would move them closer to the title and hand their rivals a hammer blow. Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen remain in transfer talks after concluding a deal for Wirtz, with Jarell Quansah on the verge of heading in the opposite direction. He is tipped to leave Anfield for £35 million, and all parties are thought to have agreed on terms. But late U-turns can take place, and until the dotted line is signed, a deal has the potential to collapse. If Quansah were to return to Liverpool, it would significantly hamper their chances of signing Mark Guéhi from Crystal Palace. The England international could become a bargain, with 1 year left on his contract, and a potential Virgil van Dijk successor in the long term. But he is unlikely to join if Quansah does not leave. Further chaos could take place in the heart of Arne Slot's defence if Ibrahima Konate decides to stop negotiations over a new contract. The Frenchman, who has formed a strong partnership with Van Dijk, has just a year left on his current deal on Merseyside. He could leave Liverpool on a free transfer next summer and is free to talk with foreign clubs regarding a pre-contract in January. After the sagas of Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, Liverpool will not want another similar situation on their hand. If Konate pulls out of talks now, then they could be forced to part ways sooner than expected. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumors, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone.